Hey, what up, Street Talk? There, Kim from Street Photography Blog. So, want to share with you a video on how to start vlogging. So, probably one of the things I've been really enjoying is spending time with my friends Dylan Fan and Cole Turner, both 19 years old, born in the year 2000. These guys are awesome. So, my basic notion is, rather than trying to criticize or critique the way people is or the way society is, why not strive to actually exploit it for what you consider good and just to have fun with it? So this is actually the thing that's very difficult is, society is a certain way and some people try to change reality and other people decide to swim with the tide and figure out how to exploit it for fun, profit, and hopefully good outcomes. So for myself, I believe in different things. So first of all, I do believe that by swimming against the tide, you could actually make a meaningful change in the world. Like consider Rosa Parks, who refused to stand in the back of the bus. I mean, huge example where the power of one individual can make a massive difference. Another example is when you think about, just the way that society is changing. Maybe it's rather than just trying to critique it and just be like a cantankerous old person, maybe it's best to figure out ways in which you could actually use it to the benefit. So let me just share with you some thoughts. So the first thought is this: maybe we could try to utilize the wave and the trend of society in a meaningful way. So the thought is with YouTube and vlogging, so I think out of all the social media platforms out there, to me it seems like YouTube is the least bad. The reason being is, it actually, in my eyes, it does actually offer a unique platform and way to express different creative modes of expression. So for example, generally for most people, okay, so this is the thing that I've discovered just through my own personal self-experimentation is video hosting is difficult. So like even on my blog, I have a Jetpack, which is the paid plugin for WordPress, and I'm able to self-host my videos, which is cool, but not everyone has access to that, and it's a little bit tricky to set up and do, so I kind of don't recommend everyone to do it. But YouTube, it's super easy. It's like anyone could upload a video. If you have YouTube, everyone has a YouTube channel. If you have a Google account or a Gmail or use Google Maps, you essentially have a YouTube. So you can use the YouTube app or just go to youtube.com/upload and you can start uploading videos right away. So I think there's so many new opportunities for us, because consider, this is crazy. Like a lot of these new video cameras could shoot like 4K and 60 FPS, whatever, and you could actually upload it to YouTube for free and almost practically unlimited, which is kind of insane. And now by using YouTube or making videos or vlogs or whatever, you're not guaranteed to get 1 trillion views or 1 trillion followers and make a bunch of money from it. So I think the more pragmatic strategy, that which I do is, you might notice I don't put ads on my videos. I've never done it in the last 10 years because it's like, don't do unto others the way you don't want others to do unto you. So whenever I go on YouTube and there's ads, I hate it. So I won't put ads on my own videos. It's like a simple ethical thing. And also, truth be told, I know a lot of people who do YouTube, unless you're raking in like tens of millions of hundreds of millions of views, you're actually not going to make that much money off of it. So I'm like, what's the point of just kind of like, bothering people with ads if you're only going to make a few $100 off of it? And to me, it's not really worth it. It's probably better to put out free information, free videos, free stuff, and then charge a lot of money for workshops, products, and services, than to just try to nickel and dime people for a little bit of everything. So one of my basic notions is essentially when you're, you know, as a producer, to either keep your stuff super duper free or make it very, very expensive. And this seems like it actually has been a good strategy for me, because I've been doing you know, workshops for almost like a decade now, which is pretty cool, and it's been a good business model for me. So for example, almost pretty much all the content on my blog, my website, etc., it's all free, and I try to make it as dope as possible, because ultimately I believe that I don't believe information, quote unquote, should be free. It is nice when information is free, but I like putting out free information because, you know, I like the idea that information can empower, and, you know, I try to make the best knowledge information that I possibly can. And on top of that, when I sell my products, whether the haptic products, the Henri straps, the Airkim straps, the Airkim products, or, you know, doing workshops, then I charge a lot of money for it. And so it seems like embracing this barbell between extremely expensive and free seems to be the best strategy, rather than selling a lot of medium priced items. And this is also my thought too. If I just kind of look at the trends of Amazon and, you know, luxury brands, essentially it looks like the future is going to be you either get cheap stuff on Amazon, or you're going to buy really luxury expensive stuff. That's just my basic view. And sooner or later in the long run, middle of the road prices will kind of go away. So even we see this with smartphones, right? You get super cheap smartphones for like 50 bucks, or you could buy the newest iPhone for $1,000, or even the new Samsung ones that go for like $1,400. So yeah, we live in an interesting time in the economy. But anyways, so YouTube is, I think, a good platform, but also just kind of don't put all your eggs in one basket either, because the problem with being stuck in one platform is if you get stuck too much in one platform, you essentially have your balls in a vice, is that you could easily get fucked. So, you know, a lot of people on YouTube complain about like YouTube changing the algorithm, which is like, you know, yo, you should have seen that coming, right? Like, for example, there's a lot of like super famous YouTubers in the past, and, you know, they used to be the kings of the YouTubes, but now they're not, because YouTube will just change your algorithm a little bit, and then they lose like 90% of their viewership or ads or whatever. Or, you know, you also see this now with like, you know, people who used to do videos with their kids. Now there's some sort of like laws against doing that with kids, and so as a consequence, like, I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think a lot of these kid videos are getting demonetized because people is using their kids as slaves to make money. And now, you know, if those parents were making a living off doing like unboxing toy videos, you know, they don't get no more money, right? So once again, it really does seem, though, for me, what's worked good for me is putting 90% of my efforts on my own website blog, self-hosted. Use, you know, something like bluehost.com, install wordpress.org, and then it's open, it's free on the web, and then it's indexed by Google. And y'all might know, right, YouTube's owned by Google, so YouTube is essentially the second world's biggest search engine, and it does seem that to be discovered organically, just through search, is a good way for you to stay on top of the game. So most people who find me, you know, if you spend enough time on street photography or photography on the internet, sooner or later you'll find Airkim. So that seems like it's been my strategy. So yeah, the way to start vlogging, I just have like very simple ideas. So first and foremost, I'm lucky in the sense that I've never really been a perfectionist, nor have I really cared for perfection. And it seems, oh, this is also another tip too. I never watch YouTube videos, and you know, the only YouTube videos I ever watch is like from my friends, like my friend Todd Hada, and now my friend Jell fan. They're making YouTube videos and stuff like that. But besides them, I never watch YouTube, and I think that's a good idea, because I think if you watch a lot of YouTube, it's easy to get intimidated, because like, honestly, a lot of these guys on YouTube's super good. Like, they're fucking wizards at editing and stuff like that. And actually, my buddy's been talking about like Sam Street Life. What up, man? His stuff is super duper dope, and everyone's doing really cool dope stuff. And it's hard because, yo, to do video editing, to do video, Final Cut, all that stuff, it's very complicated, it's very complex, and I'm not like super good with all the tools either. And so I've always liked the philosophy of just kind of like keeping it simple, keeping it super simple. So even all these vlogs that I do, basically my equipment, my workflow is I use a Lumix G9. I use the selfie thingy flipped out. I use like a Rode video mic. I think I got for like 50-60 bucks on Amazon. It has the anti-noise thing stock around it. I have the Leica Lumix 12mm 1.4 lens, which is roughly a 24mm equivalent. And I shoot in P mode, dynamic black and white mode, 1080p, 60 FPS, and I just shoot MP4 files. And you know, my friend Todd always just like, you know, feels so jealous, because essentially what I do is I'll just walk around, I'll shoot a video, I'll talk about whatever nonsense I want. I'll, you know, stick my SD card into my laptop, open up Safari, youtube.com/upload, drag the MP4 file to it, and then click upload or done, and then bada bing bada boom, I'm done. So I keep it super duper easy, and I know for me it's been so much more fun, because I could just, you know, talk with you, walk with you, and just talk whatever I want and upload it, and that could just be on to the next one. Because I never check my views, I never check my subscriber numbers, I never check my comments, I never check none. And so for me, I kind of treat this like asynchronous live streaming, meaning it's not really live streaming, but it's my life streaming. But it's just me just sharing my thoughts with you, and to hopefully put some ideas out there which could inspire or motivate you or empower you, and also just like for my own personal benefit too, because now this is so fun, especially with street vlogging. I have an excuse to go on a walk, and actually surprisingly to walk around and do these vlogs. This is actually a little bit more interesting and entertaining for me than to just walk by itself. I mean, obviously I still love walking just by itself, but yo, if you could kill two birds with one stone, it seems like a good idea. So if you're gonna start vlogging, my suggestion is, it does seem like street vlogging is kind of an interesting thing, because as I walk, I give birth or genesis to new creative ideas, which seems to be very beneficial. I like walking around in parks, being surrounded around with a bunch of trees. For some reason, gives me a lot of good creative insight. And currently this I think, okay, so if you're gonna get a video vlogging camera, if you want to keep it super simple, just get a GoPro, get the newest GoPro, whatever is available. Honestly, I used the GoPro for many years and I still love it. I might actually pick up the new one, just because I might start doing some more POV stuff again. If you wanted like more of a dedicated video vlogging camera or a hybrid thingy, you know, I bought the G9 with my own money, and it's a very good camera. And the only lens I have is this 12mm Leica Lumix lens, so that's a very good solution. Other solutions is honestly, if you want to stick to more of a budget, anything by Panasonic Lumix that has a microphone jack seems to be very good. The Rode video mic is very excellent, and it's very good for street vlogging, because you could essentially just, you know, you could just walk around and you don't have to worry about doing none of the, you know, noise cancellation things in iMovie or Final Cut afterwards. So it does seem that at least for me, what I've discovered is what we're trying to strive towards is the optimal simplicity, or the most fluid solution, which requires the least amount of post-processing. This is even the reason why I no longer shoot RAW. It's just too much kinks in the chain. I like to just keep it fluid, shoot JPEG in camera, and then I import photos. I actually even just use Apple Photos now. I import my photos, I select my photos as favorites, and then I'll export to Dropbox, and then bada bing bada boom, I'm done, right? And I upload to my blog. So I keep it super duper simple. It's not even simple, it's fluid. And for a long time I've been trying to generally keep my equipment smaller. It does seem that the smaller your equipment, the better. This Leica Lumix G9 setup, it's a little bit bigger than I would like if I just used a GoPro or something like that, but it does seem like the biggest benefit of this is having that Rode video mic with the noise sock over it. Does seem very useful because I could just talk in really windy situations and I don't have to worry about, you know, post-processing the audio later. So that seems like a good benefit that I personally like. And so, question: what should you talk about? Honestly, just talk about anything that's on your mind. This is the thing that I think modern society is kind of anti-me or anti-people in general. There's this bias that like somehow whatever you do has to be like super duper good or has to be super outstanding, blah blah. I would just say honestly, just put yourself out there, keep it authentic, keep it raw. Don't strive to be good, and I would just generally say just go on a walk, take your camera with you, and the second that you get any creative idea that you just want to talk about, just start talking or vlogging about it into the camera. In terms of just like your tone or topics, you know, obviously you could talk about photography, you talk about like philosophy, food, and there's no part of your daily life which is too boring to be documented, which I kind of find like, so like there's like this new Korean phenomenon. It's called mukbang. Muk means to eat, bang is like room, so it's like literally a person in a room eating food, just pseudo talking to you. I'm like, yo, if you could get like people live streaming them eating food and talking to you, and they can make, you know, trillions of dollars doing that, I'm like, yo, anything is possible, right? And trust me, there's a world of 7 billion people. Yo, you could find an audience for anything. If the audience don't exist yet, you could create it. So I even hope that maybe more people watch this video. We'll start doing more like black and white video, or do more vlogs or more street vlogs, whatever. And essentially to feel more empowered. But yeah, once again, things I want to encourage: don't worry too much about the equipment. Just even put your iPhone in selfie mode. Walk around, make some rando videos about anything. If I started my YouTube all over again, I wish I had a iPhone or something like that, because even the early days, 2010, the original GoPro was like pretty much the only viable option for doing video, which is what didn't cost like $10 trillion. So that's a thought. Also, another thought is, I mean, I kind of changed my opinion on this too, but don't be too specific on just like one thing. So like, you know, even with photography, right? We're all photographers, but to be too specific on photography, I think is a bad thing. Because like even most people's, it seems like now most people come to my workshops or buy my products or whatever. It does seem that like people really like me just talking about philosophy and talking about life, and this is something that a lot of people are like, oh, you know, you're not talking about photography, da, da, da. And then it's like, stick to street photography. And I'm just like, yo, I'm like a multi-faceted individual. I'm like interested in a lot of different things, and so it does seem that the optimal strategy for thriving is like the best compliment I always get actually is when I meet people in real life and they're like, yo, Eric, you in real life use like the same thing in your videos. The thing that disappoints me the most is actually when I meet, you know, YouTubers or bloggers in real life, and then their real life self is different than their online self. And I actually do think that, you know, I thought about this a lot in sociology, even when I was an undergrad, but now my opinion is, I think your online self and your offline self should be the same singular person. And if you make it two different people, then there's a lack of authenticity, and there's perhaps a lack of like courage to remain the same person. So when you're doing a YouTube video or a vlog or whatever, talk like you would speak like you would talk, write like you would talk like you would write, whatever it may be. don't aim for perfection, just do it. And just also for your self-esteem, for your own sanity, don't look at your views, don't look at your subscriber numbers, whatever. It just kind of is far too controlled by like Google and YouTube's sorting algorithm, which isn't good for your, it's not good to connect or tie your self-esteem to an algorithm. True story. Do a lot of walking, use a Rode mic, seems like it's keeps things simple. If you don't got a mic, that's cool, just use the default. Even the Ricoh GR3, the 1080p 1080 60 FPS looks like it works pretty good. So do that. And I don't even know how many videos I made at this point, but it seems like I'm still going. And my suggestion is, the point of being a creator isn't to make things which are perfect, it's just to never stop. So the thing I'm actually most proud about in my life is I've been making videos, I've been blogging, I've been making photos, teaching, traveling the last decade, and I'm still hungry for more. Position yourself that you never stop staying hungry. Stay hungry, stay foolish. My buddy Steve Jobs says, keep doing dope shit.